Hi friends, welcome back to Joe Educare.
In this video, I have explained the construction of transformer. Let's get into the video. So we have seen what is transformer. Now we will see the construction of transformer. So under this construction part, we are going to see how transformer can be constructed with the help of diagram. So I'll draw the diagram first. This is how the transformer is constructed. We have two sides. This is called as primary side and this is called as secondary side. According to the definition, we know that transformer is used to transfer the electrical energy from one circuit to other circuit. So they are telling about this circuit, the primary side, and the voltage will be transferred to the secondary side, that will be your one more electrical circuit. So now I will explain how the voltage will be transferred or how the electrical energy will be transferred from one circuit to other circuit. You know that in transformer, single phase transformer, we are going to apply AC supply, alternating voltage. So I will apply the alternating voltage to the first winding. So this winding is called as primary winding and this winding is called as secondary winding. The winding which is there in the secondary side is called as secondary winding. Now when I apply AC voltage to the primary winding, so you know that whenever you apply the voltage, current will start to flow. So when I apply alternating voltage, alternating current will start to flow through the windings. So when you are going to pass current through a winding which is wound on the some metal part of your transformer, what happens? Flux will be created, that will be on the core part of your transformer. So this dotted line will represent the path of flux, magnetic flux, which will be produced because of the alternating current which is passed through the primary winding. The kind of flux which is produced is alternating flux. So alternating flux is nothing but change in flux. So according to Faraday's law, we know that whenever flux changes, EMF will be induced. So because of this flux which is produced in the primary side, a EMF will be induced. So I'll take it as E. E is nothing but EMF induced in the primary winding. The magnetic flux which is produced by the primary winding, which will link to the secondary winding also. You can just see the path of magnetic flux which will link the secondary winding. So therefore this, because of this flux, EMF will be induced in the secondary side. So I will just write E, which will represent the EMF induced in the secondary side. So in order to differentiate, I will take this as E1 and this as E2. Now because of this EMF induced, there will be some voltage across the load. This is nothing but load, output side. So this is taken as load. So there will be some voltage across output side which is taken as V. So the primary side I will take it as V1. V1 is supply voltage. V2 is the output voltage. So current will be there in the secondary side. So I1 will be primary side current. I2 will be secondary side current. So now this E2 is the EMF induced in the secondary side because of the flux, alternating flux, which is produced by the primary winding, which will link the secondary winding, and due to that EMF will be induced. So the EMF induced in the primary side is called as self-induced EMF, because you know that self-induced EMF is nothing but the EMF induced because of its own source. But E2 is called as mutually induced EMF. So mutually induced EMF is nothing but the EMF induced because of the neighboring coil. So therefore this E2 is called as mutually induced EMF and E1 is called as self-induced EMF. So in simple, if I want to explain about this, when you supply alternating voltage to a coil, alternating current will start to flow. Okay, whenever alternating current flows through a coil, you know that flux will be produced. So since you are going to pass alternating current, that kind of flux is alternating flux. Alternating flux is nothing but change in flux. So whenever there is change in flux, according to Faraday's first law, you know that EMF will be induced. So therefore EMF will be induced in the primary winding. You can see the EMF induced in the primary winding because of this process. So now this flux which is produced by the primary winding, which will link the secondary winding, and due to this flux EMF will be induced. Now because of that, voltage will be produced, that is V2, which is taken across load. I2 is the current which is flowing through the load. So now this is primary winding and this is secondary winding. So I will take a number of N1 in the primary side, N1 is in the primary side, N2 is in the secondary side. So N1 represents number of turns in the primary side, N2 represents number of turns in the secondary winding. Now after drawing the construction diagram, I will explain the terms one by one. So after explaining the terms one by one, now I need to explain the parts of the transformer. So you have two main parts in the transformer. One is core and one more is winding. So first I'll explain about core. So from this diagram you can see core is nothing but this rectangular or square kind of box you can see on which the winding has been wounded. So this is nothing but called as core. I'll draw it separately and I'll explain about the core. So this will be core, and these two are called as limbs. The limbs are nothing but legs of your core of the transformer. So you have totally two legs in this core. So on the first leg you can just see on which winding was done. Primary winding was done on the first limb or first leg of your core of the transformer, and the secondary winding is done on your second leg of your core of the transformer. So these two are the limbs or legs of your transformer. And now we need to explain how core is formed or how core has been constructed. So this is 2D diagram. So if I want to explain you about core in detail, you can just see a 3D diagram in the figure which I have shown. So in this figure you can just see there are number of layers of thin silicon steels are in the form of stack, which is formed or laminated together to form a thick core. You can just see in the figure. So in simple, if I want to explain about this core is made up of silicon steel. The material or the metal used is silicon steel. So I take an example of book. This whole book is nothing but core. Now you can just see how this book is formed. Combining many thin number of sheets, it may be 100 number of sheets or 50 number of sheets are pressed together to form a book. Is it right? In the same way, now these sheets are made up of papers, but whereas in the figure you can see for a core, thin number of sheets which is made up of silicon steel. In the same way, so each and every silicon steels are laminated separately and it is pressed together to form a thick core. The lamination is done in order to reduce eddy current loss in the transformer. So this is about core. Now second main part is about winding. So about winding, if I want to explain, you know that from the diagram you have two types of winding. One is primary winding and one more is secondary winding. So winding is nothing but made up of copper. You can just see the figure. When the winding is connected to the supply side, then it is called as primary winding, and the winding is connected to the load side, it is called as secondary winding. So N is nothing but number of turns, which is represented with the variable N. N1 represents number of turns in the primary winding, N2 represents number of turns in the secondary winding. So this is what you have to explain under the construction of transformer.
Bible verse to meditate on.
Check out other videos in my channel regarding Basic Electrical and Diploma Mathematics 1. Please support this channel by subscribing to Joe Educare and click on the bell button to get the notification regarding new videos. Thank you. God bless you all. Bye.